Howdy folks, Shane the RV Dad, Parkway RV Center. I wanted to thank y'all for watching, and I'm going to get back on YouTube, and we're going to really broaden the networking because we've got a lot of campers, and this helps people that are actually looking for certain campers. I'm going to start doing individual campers and RVs, and we're going to be really specific with this condition. We're going to walk around them and make sure that they're not tore up. Now, we do have a shop here. If we find anything wrong with them, once they're sold, we send them through the shop. We check all the major stuff, the roof air, the fridge, you know, if it's got a generator, the water heater, the water lines, propane, all that good stuff. We make sure all that stuff's good when we send it out of here. Now, when we get them, we check the roof and clean them up. Excuse me, somebody's going by. It's one of the other guys. But we do check them structurally to make sure they're good for the lots and make sure they're nice and clean. A lot of the times they come in like this, just hardly any dirt on them or any use. So we can just stick them out here and put them online and hopefully get somebody down here to look at it. But this one here, it's a 2021 Winnebago Micro Mini. And I said micro because I stuttered a little bit. It's a micro mini, and it's about 19 foot long. And it's a dual axle, which what a lot of people are looking for, especially in the shorter ones. They don't like the single axle just for towing reasons, but we're gonna walk around this thing, see what we can find. I've already been through this, and I know it's in really, really good condition. So if this is the one you are looking for, you like to go hiking or you like to, you know, just head anywhere, this would be the one. And it's got a lot of features on it to where you don't really need to plug in unless you had, you know, to run your microwave or your air conditioner. And let's walk around it, see what we can find. Now, when you're looking at campers, the first thing I tell people to do, you know, when they look at them, just walk inside and smell. Make sure there's no smoke or pet odors. And then you walk around the outside. And you can do whichever first. I like to walk around outside first to just kind of see where all the seams are and how the caulking is. And, you know, you look up at the corners and you check all the ends. Like, you know, you see that's got a piece that overlaps right there. It looks like it's a little bit of a fiberglass piece right there, but it still goes up. And then you've got a little corner right there, but that part comes up and over, so you have to have a line of caulk over that little seam there. So you want to look at that, and you want to look at all the trim. You want to make sure all that's in good shape, and you want to look around the windows. You want to make sure it's just not damaged. That is fiberglass. And you walk around, make sure there's no rust on the frame. Rust on the chains, that's no big deal. But you want to make sure there's no rust on the axle. Really bad. I mean, normal wear and tear is okay. But if these things have been in Florida or they've been in some bad areas, they will have rusty legs on them, you know, the levelers. And they'll have rusty parts, and you just kind of deal with what you think is normal underneath. Some of that is normal, but if it's too bad, you just want to be careful and check the brakes and all that stuff, just to make sure it's not all seized up and been sitting for a long time. Now we've got the looks like we've got the Westlake tires on them. They look pretty good. This got a dang, they look good. They are 2020, so some people would want to replace 5-year-old tires. The manufacturer varies on how long they'll last, as long as you have them inspected. But that is up to the camper. Some people swear by certain brands, and that's all right. Just as long as you're riding safe is all that matters. Looks like all the corners look wonderful in this. Again, I've already looked at this, but when you're looking at them, you look for caulk. Like, you look for it in one single spot. Now, if you see a lot glumped up on a corner or anywhere along the gutters right there, you just want to be careful, because, you know, if it's got glop, you know it's probably leaked in that area, and you just want to make sure You check the walls inside, make sure you're not buying a rotted out mess. Now, I should have brought the keys, but we check all this stuff. We check the outside showers, we check the fridge. It's got a 30 amp plug-in satellite hookup, and it has your little cable. A lot of these campsites have cables. This right here is the back side of your fridge and your little water heater here. I always like to look in them, make sure they're not all rusted out. That looks pretty good, it's just dirty. Now, what you want to do in a lot of these, you want to make sure to pop these hatches open and start looking up underneath. And then you want to look up here. And this part right here, over time, if you're not careful, you know, it can leak on those seams. And this part, this ain't much right there. That part right there will just turn into mush and really give you issues. See, there's the battery disconnect, and that's the water pump back there. We make sure to winterize these things before we sit them out in the cold, so don't you worry about that. Now, the front end, just standard, looks normal. The well, I must have the battery turned off. It's got a power jack right there, so you ain't gotta crank it. And the batteries, we make sure that if it don't have a good battery on it, we'll make sure to put a new one on there. And just make sure you check everything before you go in. All the corners look good. I'm already impressed with the condition. Like I said, I have looked at this thing. But there you got your little solar controller right there. So you know it's got a little solar panel on it. This is the 1708 FB. So that's like, I think that means front bed. And we're just gonna walk in. First thing you do is just smell. Oh, and it smells just fine in here. I don't smell no smoke or pet odors. It still smells new, you know, honestly. You know, the materials that they make them with really doesn't look like it's been used all that much. Oh, I love it. I love it. There's your awning. We'll put that bad boy out. Make sure there's no now sometimes these get put up and they're a little dirty and they got the stripes on. See, he's got a little stripe right there. Excuse me. Looks factory though. Looks like it come from the factory. You can tell by the color of the material. Oh yeah, super clean. Very nice. There's your little power awning. You can adjust those arms too if you want, because if it's raining, you want to tilt it so the water won't stack up in the middle. I like it. Nice little dinette. Now, when you get into Winnebagos, you really get good quality interior. Everything's still lightweight, but it's much better quality than other manufacturers. They put a lot of the press board in theirs, and you can really see the difference in quality. The fabrics on the dinette is much better. The wood, and then you have lightweight tables, but they don't have that, you know, that most of the time these are just treated wood, like press board with you know, like a plastic wallpaper like cover on them. That is in pretty solid shape. You don't have to worry about that peeling off. And the valances look good. Lots of cabinet space. I always tell people to check inside the cabinets, because if that seam along the top is leaking, you just want to look for discoloration. Make sure it's not leaking and rotted to pieces. This literally smells brand new. I see the looky here, look, we got the folder. It's going to have all the owner's manuals in it. And you look for darker wood. That type of wood right there, if it was wet, you could tell just by the color of it. Looks great. Inside the windows, there's no discoloration up under it. You definitely want to keep your window, whatever they're called, the seals cleaned out, because they do drain, but you don't want them to drain this way. So you make sure to keep those good and clean. I'm seeing a really good indication that those are clean. There's no discoloration up here. And we pop open the cabinets. You're literally looking for discoloration. And if you see discoloration, you want to feel the wall. If it feels like it, you can put your finger through it, don't push no harder, because it probably will. And we've got this side. Lots of good space. Lots of good space for storage. Looks like it may, yeah, it does have a little curtain. There's your emergency window. Everything looks good on that side. I'm fairly comfortable walking through. There's not much of a, I mean, there's probably about a 30-inch walkway right here between your stove and your dinette, and then your fridge. You've got a really big fridge. And a lot of these are 12 volt. This looks like it is. I'd have to do a little research and read the label there, but it's not. I don't think it's been used all that much. You don't have any gross odors coming out like somebody left a bunch of hamburger meat in it, parked it for the summer. That looks like a convection little microwave too. I think it is. Stainless steel hood. All right, now this is the test. I always tell people that may look clean, but look in between the burners. That's a dead giveaway right there. Not a lot of people know to pop this thing up and clean up underneath. You can find food particles and whatever else up under there, and that's like a dead giveaway that it was used. It could be as clean as possible on the outside, but you look in between and see them food particles, you may think somebody might have been living in it. But I mean, as long as things are good quality, I mean, temporary living is not out of the question for a lot of people these days. And a lot of people like to travel. Just park anywhere and live anywhere. Daggum, I envy them. Beautiful inside, all the cabinets. Got you a nice little stereo system. I believe that's Bluetooth, and you can plug in your USBs. I guess that's a CD player, or it might be a combo like a DVD player too. And that TV, a lot of these maybe 12 volts. But let's look here. Still got a little sawdust in there. Here is the interior. Bathroom's in the corner. The shower's in the corner, I mean. So you got some good space in there. A little mirror to check it out. And probably got to put a curtain in here. But I always tell people, you know, check around the skylights. Check around the fans. Make sure there's no rusty screws or cracked, you know, lids on top. Make sure those don't leak, because if those leak, your walls are going to leak, and then you're going to have rot behind the shower. Not the biggest shower, but it'll have to work, won't it? And you can upgrade your shower heads too. It's good and clean. Got all that space in the world in the corner. It's catty-cornered restroom part. A little medicine cabinet and a little storage down under. I'm happy with the condition. That looks like a water pump in there. Well, there's a couple, looks like water pumps. Yeah. Huh. We'll have to show that to the technician when somebody buys it. I may have had either issues with water pumps or they upgraded. That's the stuff that we check, you know. We have a 3-page inspection list. Once it's sold, we send it through the shop. Make sure everything is working. The stove, the microwave, the fridge, the air conditioner, the water heater, everything that you're going to use. And then if it's new enough, which this one is definitely new enough, we will put a 90-day warranty on it and cover those parts that we guarantee. So you really get a good peace of mind when you're buying from us. And I make these videos because there are people out there looking for this exact model, and they could be all the way in Oregon. I've sold several people on the West Coast off of YouTube. So I'm really happy when I connect with people like this. And I was going to give you the phone number. Now, if you do need to make this into a sleeper, you can make the bed, this bed right here. We've got it strapped down for travel purposes, but the cushions will move in and you can put that in the middle and really make another sleeper. That'll sleep a 6-foot adult right there. There are a couple of little kids. Now, we do have financing. My name is Shane. If you have any questions or want to call about your latest adventure, just reach out. My number is 706-965-7929. And just call and ask for Shane. Say, I want to speak to the RV dad. We do have financing. So once everything's done, if you're happy with the condition, because I'll send you videos and pictures of everything you need. I've sold a lot of these campers sight unseen. So I'm not going to have somebody, I've cost myself deals before. I'm not going to have somebody tell me, hey, Shane, you didn't tell me this. Well, I try to find everything I can find. And if it can be fixed, we'll fix it. But thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. And I really hope that you guys come on down. We'd love to meet you. If anybody in the area of the Ringgold, Chattanooga area, I'd love to talk to you. Just stop on by. Thank you for watching once again. Bye-bye.